Wednesday Night Reviews.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into Wednesday Night Reviews. I'm your host, Konrad, and from superheroes to average Joes, here's what I read this week. So a good buddy of mine let me borrow Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon by Kyle Higgins, Giuseppe Cafaro, and Marcelo Costa, with a special consult by Jason David Frank. So for those of you who don't know, Jason David Frank is actually the actor who plays Tommy Oliver throughout the series of Power Rangers. And if you're watching this having no clue what I'm talking about, that's okay. So for many people, especially growing up in North America, many people like myself, when I was a kid, between the ages of 7 and 12 or 13, I watched Power Rangers. So the original series is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. After that, it's Zeo Rangers, and then there's the Turbo movie, and actually I think I have that wrong, but it's been a while since I've watched Power Rangers. Anyway, if you're like me and as a kid you watched it, or perhaps if you're a parent now and your kids watch the Power Rangers, and you kind of like it, but maybe you're a little embarrassed because it's a kid's show and it's Power Rangers, and why would you like that? I don't know. Whatever your situation is, just know that you're not alone. Many people like Power Rangers, and my buddy who let me borrow this book loves them, and he recommended to me that this is something I have to read. He's also said I should read the rest of the series, but in particular, he wanted me to read this. So if you're out there, this is for you. So I am honestly surprised with how good this book was. So the writer Kyle Higgins I'm familiar with. He wrote Nightwing for the New 52 of DC Comics, and since then he's gone on to write quite a lot. He is the one that is mainly in charge of the Power Rangers, this book particularly, but also other series and chunks of the Power Rangers in comics form. He's actually one of the biggest names behind it, among a few others. And his writing style is fantastic. He's very good at writing human-feeling characters and situations and not letting the grandiose nature of superheroes or Power Rangers or anything else get in the way of what makes people interesting, and that's our relationships to each other. So this book picks up at an interesting spot. So if you're an old-time fan, this is going to pull on some heartstrings. If you're a super fan, you've either probably read this already, or this is going to be a really cool glimpse into Tommy Oliver's future. So this book is set a fair bit past the Power Rangers TV shows. In this, Tommy Oliver is an older man. He's got a child who's grown up and is now a man of his own. And in Tommy's last battle as a Ranger, he was hurt rather bad. So he's had an operation on his back so that way he can walk. He's had his morpher damaged, so it's unsafe to use it. They actually say it might kill him if he tries to use it. But because of what goes on in his life, he's forced to. So as I mentioned, Tommy has a kid in this series who's grown up. He joined the SPD, which is like a intergalactic police, and all of a sudden he goes missing. And one night, Tommy Oliver, he's trying to contact him. He contacts his wife, who tries to contact his kid, and there's no go. And they just sort of get a little, well, you know what, he's busy. And then they continue having these problems, and eventually a young lady actually just climbs into his car one day and says, "Hey, you're Tommy Oliver, right?" And he goes, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Well, hey, your kid is missing, and that would be this young lady here." So she, it turns out, was in the academy with the younger Oliver, and she's let him know, hey, he's gone. We cannot find him. The cops can't find him. So Tommy Oliver, as any decent father would, freaks out. He goes to all his old friends, all his connections, and says, hey, my kid is missing. What's going on? Where is everybody? And because of what goes on, basically, he ends up taking it into his own hands, going, you know what? I'm a freaking Power Ranger. I'm just going to get it done. And we get this beautiful investigation. The investigation itself is typical. It's, a quick, easy little fun read. It's a little mystery. But where this book is fantastic is pulling on your heartstrings and your nostalgia for who Tommy Oliver is and for what he is in context of the Power Rangers. And even if you haven't read or seen the series before or read any of the series, you're going to get a really cool dose of basically old man Tommy going through and showing his past, showing what he's done, how awesome he has been, and even currently still is, as he risks it all to save his son. And throughout the book, we get to see a whole bunch of old characters who anyone who's watched the original TV show will instantly go, hey, I know that guy. So thanks again for tuning in, everyone. This has been my review of Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon by Kyle Higgins, Giuseppe Cafaro, and Marcelo Costa. Give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment below about what you've been reading or what you thought of Power Rangers. Have a great one.